Today I'm presenting my annual report for 2021, and this is the annual report. And of course, I'm presenting this report in the light of the very serious developments we have seen in Ukraine with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The annual report covers our work to strengthen NATO's deterrence and defense, support for our partners, and our adaptation for the future. In the last months, our security environment has dramatically worsened. President Putin's brutal invasion of Ukraine is shocking, but it is not a surprise. NATO shared intelligence publicly and repeatedly warned that Russia was poised to launch a full-fledged invasion of Ukraine. We prepared for the worst, but worked hard for the best. We made every effort to engage Russia in dialogue, but Moscow consistently turned us down and ultimately decided to cut diplomatic ties. Last fall, we also took action to heighten the readiness of our forces, deploy more troops to the eastern part of the alliance, and stepped up our support to Ukraine. This built on NATO's long-standing assistance for Ukraine's forces and institutions. Over the years, allies have trained tens of thousands of Ukrainian troops, provided modern equipment, and supported reforms. The Ukrainian forces are now bigger, better equipped, better trained, and better led than ever before. And they are putting their training and their equipment to use on the front lines with courage that has inspired the world. We have heard the recent statements that Russia will scale down military operations around Kyiv and in northern Ukraine. But Russia has repeatedly lied about its intentions. So we can only judge Russia on its actions, not on its words. According to our intelligence, Russian units are not withdrawing but repositioning. Russia is trying to regroup, resupply, and reinforce its offensive in the Donbas region. At the same time, Russia maintains pressure on Kyiv and other cities. So we can expect additional offensive actions bringing even more suffering. Russia must end this senseless war, withdraw all its troops, and engage in talks in good faith. NATO's core task is to protect and defend all allies. In recent years, we have implemented the biggest reinforcement of our collective defense in a generation, with particular focus on the eastern flank. We also developed new military plans for our deterrence and defense. All of this allowed NATO to respond quickly and decisively to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We activated our defense plans within hours of the invasion. And within days, we deployed thousands more troops to the eastern part of our alliance. From both sides of the Atlantic, backed by major air and naval power. Sending a clear message: NATO stands strong and united. In 2021, NATO's two newest joint headquarters also became fully operational. Our Joint Force Command in Norfolk, Virginia, focused on securing transatlantic sea lines of communications. And our Joint Support and Enabling Command in Ulm, Germany, supporting the rapid movement of troops and equipment into and across Europe. Throughout 2021, our forces remained ready and vigilant. We sustained missions and deployments, including multinational battle groups, air and naval patrols, and missions in Kosovo and in Iraq. Last April, following close consultations among all allies, we announced the withdrawal of the rescue support mission from Afghanistan. In August, following the rapid collapse of the Afghan political and military leadership, we launched one of the largest airlifts in history, evacuating more than 120,000 people over the course of 3 weeks. Around 2,000 Afghans who have worked for NATO have now been resettled in allied countries. The lessons we have learned from Afghanistan will shape the alliance's response to crisis in the future. 2021 was the 7th consecutive year of rising defense spending across European allies and Canada, amounting to 3.1% rise in real terms, and a total of $270 billion extra since 2014. You will find the latest national defense investment figures in the annual report. At our extraordinary summit last week, allies agreed that we must redouble our efforts to invest more and more quickly in our defense. We face a new security reality, and there is a new sense of urgency. We have already seen national announcements of significant increases and procurement of cutting-edge capabilities. And allies will submit additional plans on how to meet the defense investment pledge in time for the Madrid summit in June. This is an investment in the bond between Europe and North America, which keeps us all safe. The annual report shows that public support for the transatlantic alliance is extremely strong. 81% of the people across the 30 allies believe it is important for North America and Europe to work together for our shared security. The polling we did last year shows that an overwhelming majority, 62%, would vote to remain in NATO, with only 11% saying they would vote to leave. Since then, national polling has shown further increases in support this year. Our polling also shows that a majority of allied citizens consider climate change a security threat. Addressing this is a key element of the NATO 2030 agenda, agreed by allied leaders at our Brussels summit last year. We also decided to increase our resilience, sharpen our technological edge, and strengthen our work with partners around the world. In June, at our summit in Madrid, we will take further steps to implement the NATO 2030 agenda and reset our deterrence and defense for the new security reality that we face. We will also agree NATO's next strategic concept, our guiding document for the next decade. It will reconfirm our core values, our purpose, and our unity, and drive the continuing adaptation of our alliance. In a more dangerous world, North America and Europe must stand strong and united in NATO.